Hello guys, we are back for another video and we're gonna be doing the Covenant Selector for special and non-special tickets, which the only difference is you get a plus 15 fully awakened unit, or you can the normal ticket which gives you just the unit with no enhancements whatsoever. So first we're gonna start with the S tier for PvP. I have divided it into different sections for this tier list. So one for PvE, one for PvP, and then I have more specific categories on why they are good choices. And let's start with the S tier, which is Genoa. Genoa is really strong if there is no ill enough, and he's not only just strong in PvP, you could also use him in PvE, and he's a really he just does a lot of damage, and he's very useful for a lot of things in Guild War 2 actually. So yeah, I rank this unit quite high because he's worth the plus 15. Same goes to Politis. Very strong meta pick for RTA and possibly Guild War. You could also use her. And this is only applicable to the DPS poly build and not the degen one. The degen one you can probably use the normal tickets if you want Politis. And Celine, also a unit worth plus 15ing. And I mean, she's just a DPS unit. That's why you need to just use the ticket for her. I wouldn't say she's that strong compared to the other two for the RGB selectors for PvP usage. But she can be used in Guild War where you use to snipe the BBK with Veronica. And I think she's more usable than the others that I have put in the list. Slightly less usable, but I think he's a really good pickup if you want to use him for PvP. It's debatable that you can use a plus 15 one, plus 15 ticket, or you can use a normal one. It's up to you, but I personally think it's not that bad of a plus 15 for mod. Vildred, this is dependent. I think if you want to have a side story farming unit, I think Grass Vildred is not bad. Unless you chose RB for your selector, then I suggest that you don't pick him up. But I put him in this tier is because he's just a really strong unit to have at plus 15. And you could also imprint him. I also put him in this section for imprints. If you need an imprint to raise someone in RTA, Vildred is a really strong imprint to have. He just does a lot of damage. And he's also an imprint. So yeah, it's just a good pickup. Next, we have the imprints for ML Unlimited section or tier. This one I advise you not to get a plus 15 version of them. Just use the normal ticket. And Flan, I've put it here because of Afternoon Soak Flan. You could use it for that, but I think she's ranked lower because there's only like one unit that uses it actually. Actually, never mind. I'm gonna just put it right here. It doesn't matter. Okay, these are not arranged in a specific order. So Vildred, I said earlier, it's good for Grass Vildred imprint, but also for RV. So I think he's not a bad pickup, but don't use the plus 15 if you're gonna use it as an imprint. Fire Aura, good for the normal Fire Aura and also SBA, but I think right now SBA is doing a lot better than the Fire Aura. So I suggest you can use an imprint on her, on your SBA I mean. And I made this because the imprints that are really strong right now you should be looking for are crit chance imprints and effectiveness. Those two stats are very important, I think, for these specific units actually. But it's just dependent. You have to see why they are good. And Roana, for Requiem Roana, I don't need to explain why, it just gives you more effectiveness. Tenebria, I put her here because of it used to be Fairy Tail Tenebria, but right now you can use it for Light Tenebria. I think the only Tenebria worth imprinting right now is Light Tenebria, nothing else. Even Spectre Tenebria is not worth the imprint. Ilana for ML Ilana, well, there's not much to it. I know she's a HP imprint, but she's just a very strong unit, so that's why it's worth trying to get imprints sometimes. Or actually not sometimes, but Just get an imprint if you want, if you have nothing else. Ludwig, crit chance imprint for ML Ludwig. I don't need to explain why. Huayang, I don't know if you want Huayang, but I think you can use her for Argent Waves Huayang. It's not a bad imprint for Argent Waves Huayang. I don't know about the Dark Huayang if you want to use imprint for that. It's really up to you. I wouldn't choose to imprint any of the Huayangs. Maybe if you want, you can imprint the Argent Waves Huayang. Maybe not the Dark Huayang. She's not. She's strong, but like she's not reliable enough to be worth imprinting, I feel. So yeah, that's why I put Huayang here. Yufin for ML Yufin, she's very strong. That's the only applicable Yufin. Holiday Yufin not as much. Just put your imprints onto ML Yufin, and then Haze for ML Haze. I don't really need to explain why. Ida. So this category is for section, for the maybe section, and I put Ida and Kisei here, is because, well, they are DPS units, so they're gonna be benefiting off the plus 15 enhancements. But I don't suggest you should be going for them because they kind of fell off. But I see a use for Kisei if you're planning to play a mid cleave. So yeah, you should probably. I mean, if you want, you can get a Kisei if you don't have her. But I prioritize the higher tier units over Kisei for now because Kisei can be replaced by Argent Waves Wayang or some other DPS that you might build, like a secret one-shot DPS. Maybe a full damage green Sid could be used instead. So moving on, we have the good unit but not worth plus 15 section. These units are really strong for RTA wise, but I suggest you shouldn't plus 15 in them because they're not DPS units besides Ren, but Ren kind of fell off, so I don't think you should even be doing it. I don't think you should even be plus 15 Ren at all, actually. So Lidica, Vera, you don't really plus 15 them for damage enhance, because most of their damage comes from the bleed or they're just used to control, so you don't need the damage increase at all. Besides Ren, Ren's a DPS unit, but like he was worth plus 15ing, but right now he's just replaced by Rena, so it's not that strong anymore. So Teiyu, I'm gonna put him. Actually, I'm gonna put him in here for ML Teiyu. ML Teiyu is not a bad pickup. Not ML Teiyu. I mean, normal Teiyu as an imprint is not a bad pickup for ML Teiyu. I think he's ranked quite high. I think it's like slightly above Lightweight. Actually, no, below Lightweight slightly. And the normal RGB Teiyu, I think he's like whatever. I don't think you should get him to plus 15. But if you have nothing else, I don't think it hurts to take one of these. So like all of these units are DPS units, except Abigail. Abigail is like a very weird unit where you kind of want her tanky so that she lives sometimes. And only applicable usage for Abigail is to tank BBK defense, hard steady BBK defense, but that's just oddly very specific. So it's only one case where you actually use her in GVG. Besides that, she's kind of unused. So this section, it's up to you. If you want to plus 15 any of them, go ahead. But maybe not the Abigail actually. Yeah, Abigail is ranked lowest here. So up to you. You guys choose. But I already given you like the best choices above. So this is like optional if you want. So these units are actually really strong. That's only like, I mean, it's only applicable to Nakwal, I feel. But the rest is like whatever. Same thing with this section where they're not that bad of a unit to have, but they're not worth plus 15ing. So you can get these units using the normal ticket if you want. Because they don't really benefit off from damage increase. Except Crow maybe but that's only just for his S3 and S2. Same with Yoha and all these other units where you only need to like level up the S3 and not anything else. Bihu effect chance That's like one of them, and maybe cooldown decrease. So yeah, Wukong is not Wukong. Also yeah, also it's only just for his S2. You don't need to mola his S3 and S1. Yeah, we're talking about RTA for this specific case. Yeah, so I wouldn't suggest using the plus 15 tickets on any of these units. So PvE we have Break rank 1. I know that you can get free breaks from the there's a thing that you can get. There's like a challenge you can get to get Brig. So Brig can be ranked highest here because the ones that they give you aren't plus 15, right? So it's not that bad. Vivian can also be used as imprint for ML Vivian. It's not that bad. Shu also ML Shu's not bad. Somia is like whatever. She's pretty low. Bologna's not that bad. Violet, I think Violet for PvE is really strong. This is for like AI. All of these units here are pretty good for AI except Surya. Let me just put Surya out and maybe Kana. So these units are not that bad to have for PvE/AI, I feel. Yeah, there's not much I can add into this list. I think this is the final list. So I'll be moving on to the artifact tier list for now. I'll give you like 5 seconds to look at this if you want. Okay, we're back again for the artifact selector tier list. So I've divided it into different tiers, and they don't really mean anything. They're just labels, but I will go through each one and explain why they're good and why they're not. So let's start with Windrider. Very good artifact. Multiple thieves use it. Just like ML Celine, Tori, Gala, Genoa. You need like at least I'd say at least 4 copies, which is kind of demanding. And also, it's actually not that bad to have it on plus 15 because it's not a chance artifact. It's just a stat thing. You might still lose a decent amount of stat, but it's actually not that bad compared to having a chance artifact and not proccing when you need it to. So we're going the second one, the second artifact, which is Uberius Tooth. Uberius Tooth, only 2 units kind of use it right now. It's Amiki and Pera. And then Renewed Will, also a very strong artifact, which is usable on Lyrica and Briar. I suggest you could just only have 1 copy, but having 2 is nice. But it really depends on your speed gear. If you somehow have Lyrica and Briar gear together, I think both are fine. I mean, you can probably get both if you're like a whale or something, but 1 should be fine. So for the next tier, the next tier list, I mean the next tier, which is we're gonna start with Crown. Crown has fallen off a bit slightly for Harsedi due to ARAM's existence, but you could also be using Crown on Politis, and having a higher chance on Crown means, it just means that you can land stun a lot easier. And I think for red poly is kind of important for your degen poly to counter some amid drafts. So I think it's kind of an important artifact. I think you might need to have like two copies, one for Harsedi and one for Degen Poly, which is sufficient enough. But maybe Harsedi you could just use Fairy Tail instead. Okay, next we have Passion of Furusha. Very strong artifact to have on your knights. The most important knight so far you could have this on is a Tywin. Back then you actually have to back then you would benefit off from a lot of Passion of Furushas. Right now has fallen off slightly because not much not a lot of knights are pretty draftable right now besides a Tywin who uses Passion of Furusha. So not that bad, but I probably rate it slightly lower. Okay, next we have Bird's Eye. Bird's Eye is a very strong artifact. It just gives souls to any non-attack skill that you proc on your Soul Weaver. So that means you could also use it on ARAM when Harsedi S3s, you proc S2 and you proc Bird's Eye and you get 2 soul, you get 15 souls or 20 souls if you max it. It's pretty good. You could also use it on BDOM, but I wouldn't actually say that this is important. But it's quite a nice artifact to have, and it enables you to do certain comps in GVG, like where you use it on BDOM to Soulburn prior. So it's pretty nice. Next we have Spatial Temporal. It's only usable on one unit right now, which is Poly, but I don't really recommend you running this. I actually recommend you running the other artifact, which is, where is it? Unseen Observer. Unseen Observer also really strong. They deserve A because they're both really strong on Politis, but I rank Unseen Observer higher than Spatial Temporal, because that one Soulburn actually kind of helps a bit in like doing more damage, especially via BBK. And then next we have Celestine. Quite strong also, because you could use it on haste or ARAMs, or ARAM, I mean, not ARAMs. ARAM on like a degen build, which will heal quite a lot actually. So Celestine, quite a strong artifact, but not that important compared to the others. I'd say you can have 2 copies, one for ARAM and one for haste. If you're running the degen build, of course, for ARAM. If you're running a fast one, you probably won't run this. You probably run Bird's Eye or something. So Brush Bastion, where we talk about Holy Sack, not as important as it used to be. It's only usable right now for Mort and possibly Euphine, but I think you're better off be running Albrace Ritual Sword than Holy Sack, and whether Euphine just does nothing. Elegate Candle, pretty strong for only Knuckle right now. Not much else but Knuckle. If you're doing the thing where you just pick Knuckle without caring if there's a Zeo or not on the field. So it's not that highly ranked. Actually, I put it in B. Pen and Light of Dark, I want to put it on A, but like, I don't know how to say it, but they're not that strong. But you have to have them for like certain units, you know. But usually Knuckle you run Guiding Light. Candle is not like whatever. It's like whatever. Pen and Light and Dark is a must-have on a mid. If you don't have it on a mid, I'm not sure how you're gonna run it. How you're gonna run a mid. I think she has to come with the artifact. Umbral Keystones is optional for like Tenebria. If you're using her, if you're not running a fast Tenebria, you're just running her like a bridge Tenebria. Discreet Hands only good on Renark. I don't need to explain why. Rise of the Monarch. Rise of Monarch is good on Elenath. Only, I think. Yeah, only. And then Shepherd is only good for, actually not only good for, but it's good on MLV and BBK. Those two are the only BIS artifacts for Secret Art. Also only good for Green Celine. Nothing else except Green Celine. Maybe if you want to make a cheese character with Storm Sword, you could probably have, I think, 2 copies, but 1 is enough. You don't really cheese with Storm Sword nowadays. Same goes to Spirit of Purification, both cheesing artifacts, which is when anyone uses a non-attack skill, you just cut. Merciless, only good for Jacko. Not much for anyone else. Alexis Basket is only good for RB. And possibly for BBK, so having like 1 copy, I think having 1 copy is fine. Having 2 is kinda nice, but 1 is enough. Doctor's Bag, not as relevant as last time. Not a lot of Soul Weavers kinda use that now. Alabastron only usable on Elvira right now. Sigurd kinda fell off. Except if you're using it on Hwoyang. I think this is quite important for Hwoyang. So I'm gonna put it higher just for Hwoyang. I'm gonna put it like this, yeah. Guiders is only strong for Euphine. If you're planning to build an anti-cleave Euphine where you kinda need her to also do damage. So you're just like drafting no damage besides Euphine. Guiders can help in killing and help killing in anti-cleave. Snow Crystal only applicable on Shu. Noble Oath kind of fell off. Maybe usable on Arunka if you're planning to play her in a specific way. Turkish Fantasia also fell off. I don't think you should get it. Idol's Cheer is a cheese artifact you can use, but like not that strong. Arena fell off. Goblet off is only applicable on Pera, so that's why I put it on D. The reason I put it on D because no one can really make use of this, even though they are strong on like specific units. And then PvE we have Stone and Song of Stars. I mean, you could also put Elegite Candle under PvE section, but I think Elegite Candle can work for Nightfall. Not that bad. Okay, that is my tier list. I don't think I've missed out on anything. Maybe, okay, I don't really want to talk about all of these because they're not that worth talking about. Yeah, they're just like whatever. I think these are right now most important artifact. Besides the D category, just don't get for the D tier. Maybe I just remove it too. Actually, this doesn't really matter or not if I have it in this tier list. Yeah, this is the final tier list. If it's not included, it's probably not good. Unless I miss out on something. Yeah, this is it. I hope you guys enjoy the video. I know it's gonna be quite a long video, but I just want to be quite detailed and just talk about which choices are the right to make. Again, there is no like right choice to make. It also depends on what you're also missing and what you also need at the time. And this tier list is only applicable for this current season, and after that you probably won't even this tier list won't be as valid because meta will probably shift again. So I hope you guys enjoy watching this video. I know there's a lot of yapping. Hope to see you guys on the next video when there is a new content coming up. I will probably make another video on it. Okay, see you guys later. Bye bye.